Heitor is there with his notebook in hand, looking at this problem, and he doesn't even know where to start. But I won't blame him. Factorials scare many people, right? But today I'm going to show you that this huge problem, 53 factorial divided by 51 factorial plus 52 factorial, has a simple and elegant answer. If you get stuck on factorial questions or don't even know where to start, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end and you'll never be afraid of factorials in exams again. Shall we go to the board? Well, first of all, what is a factorial? Let's see here. 5 factorial, for example. Every time you see a number with this exclamation mark after it, it means the factorial of that number. And how do we calculate that? We take the number and keep multiplying it by its predecessor until we reach 1. For example, 5 factorial, 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. By doing this multiplication, 5 factorial equals 120. That's how you calculate factorial. Now pay attention to this question here. 53 factorial divided by 51 factorial plus 52 factorial. If we're going to solve this, here's what we'll do. Look. 53 factorial, 53 times, 52 times, 51 times, 50 times, 49, and so on until you get to 1. Now, it's nearly impossible for us to do this calculation, right? It's such a huge number we'd spend all day on it. So, we have to find some mathematical trick that lets us simplify it. Since it's a fraction, right? 53 factorial divided by 51 factorial plus 52 factorial, we have to find something we can do to simplify such a huge number like this. So what can we do here, see? Let's take 51 factorial down here. Factorial, if we expand 51 factorial, it will be 51 times 50 times 49 and so on until we get to 1. Now pay attention. Let's put our reasoning to work a little bit at its core. Looking at 53 factorial, you see that I have 53 times 52 times 51 times 50 times 49, which is exactly 51 factorial. If we look down here, 51 factorial is 51 times 50 times 49, which is exactly that little part from the multiplication above. So, that part of the multiplication up there in 53 factorial we can write as 51 factorial. Writing this down, it will look like this. The top part, 53 factorial, 53 times 52 times 51 factorial. We've already seen we can write 53 factorial this way, all right? And how will it look on the bottom, divided by 51 factorial plus 52 factorial? A lot of people will take it and simplify. Professor, there's 51 factorial on top and 51 factorial on the bottom. I'm canceling the top with the bottom, but you'll slip up and get the question wrong. Take it easy, everyone. Here in the denominator of the fraction, there's a sum. 51 factorial plus 52 factorial, I can't simplify. Professor, what am I going to do then to simplify if I can't cancel? Relax, take a look. Below, in this sum, 51 factorial plus 52 factorial, we have to rewrite this sum as a product. In other words, we have to factor this. And how do we do that? Take a look. Let's repeat the one above. 53 times 52 times 51 factorial. Now for the bottom, 51 factorial plus 52 factorial below, we can write as 52 times 51 factorial the same thing we did above. For 53 factorial, didn't we keep going down until we got to 51 factorial? So let's do the same with 52. That is 52 times 51 factorial. With that, a common factor appeared. Notice that 51 shows up in both the first term and the second term of this sum. Now, how do I factor out the 51 by factoring it out? That's factoring out the common factor. Isn't 51 factorial the same as 1 times 51 factorial? So, I'm going to take out this 51 factorial from these two terms in the sum. I'll factor it out. I'll repeat from above. I'll factor out the 51. And what was left inside the parentheses there? What's left is what remained. We took out the 51, so it's 1 plus 52. But what do you mean, Professor? It's factoring out the common factor. See, if we apply the distributive property here, look, I rewrote it up there, 51 factorial times 1 plus 52. If we distribute, we'll get this here. Look, 51 factorial times 151 factorial. 51 factorial times 52, look there, 52 times 51 factorial. What did we do? We factored out the common factor. We factored out 51 factorial, okay? Now we have a multiplication. Because 51 factorial is multiplied by 1 plus 52. We can simplify the 51 factorial on top with the 51 factorial on the bottom. What's left on top? We're left with 53 times 52, and what's left on the bottom? 1 plus 52. 1 plus 52 is nothing more than 53. Since on top it's a multiplication, I said you can only simplify when we have a multiplication. Look, on top it's a multiplication. So I can simplify the 53 on top with the 53 on the bottom. What's left? What's left is 52. So the result of this calculation, look, 53 factorial divided by 51 factorial plus 52 factorial is equal to 52. See how factorials aren't that complicated? The secret is to factor the smaller factorial and simplify. Did this video help you? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to share it with your friends, and don't forget to leave in the comments Heitor 80 so I know you made it to the end. Big hug from Professor Robson Lyers. Hope to see you in the next class.